Okay, next we will hear from Dr. Olga Medvedev, editor-in-chief of our wonderful newsletter, Dr. Galina Sanaeva, and Yakov Medvedev, members of the editorial board, tell us about how our journal is made. Do you want to put chairs here?
As some of you know, I have been an editor-in-chief of the newsletter of our association for more than 10 years now. I suggested to publish an annual Korczak magazine to my Korczak friends in 2002 and received their full support. The newsletter has been published since then. Let me tell you why, in my opinion, this publication is necessary. First of all, being a person of letters, by profession and by passion, I profoundly believe that letters, or if you wish, manuscripts, don't burn. Letter is a trace that remains even if we are not here anymore. As a historian, I spent much of my time in the archives and libraries in various countries, reading books and other papers. Some of them were a few hundred years old. Some of them have not been opened for centuries. However, the moment comes and someone eager to learn past experience of people and peoples cut the pages and discovers a lot of amazing things. These discoveries make us richer because we gain knowledge of views, thoughts, deeds, and feelings of others. Therefore, I believe that documentation, the chronicle of what we are doing, is significant and hopefully valuable. Perhaps this message will be passed on from today to the future, to next generations, which I'm sure will still be interested in Korczak's great ideas, studying them, and more importantly, implementing them into practice. This kind of documentation is especially meaningful because we live in Vancouver, paradise at the end of the world, far away from Korczak centers that are mostly in Europe, in Poland of course, Germany, Switzerland, Poland, and in Russia, Israel, and so on. And because we are so far away and not able to participate in numerous meetings of Korczak's fans, we call them Korczakians. It's a new word that I think can be in Google or in Webster, that are held in the world, we are not really known. If we are slowly getting known, is in the world's Korczak's community. That is first of all because of our newsletter that documents our activity. Next, why it is important to have such a journal is that it allows us to summarize what we have done and how much we have done, and what we have done right and what we have done wrong. It is much more obvious when it is put on paper. In other words, our magazine helps us to look at ourselves from a side, or even critically, and to outline the right directions for the future activities. Then, our journal gives us an opportunity to discuss our goals and our views on matters connected with children's life and rights. Here I must admit that we still have a long way to go. Our own contribution to make children's life better is still pretty modest. At the same time, I am proud to say that slowly but surely our newsletter becomes not only a chronicle but a journal as such. Let's have a look at the last issue that in a moment we will distribute to our members and sympathizers. I brought all newsletters. From the first one was this one, with the very thin, then a little bit bigger, 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 then more bigger, and this is the last one that I would like to present. This is the bronze relief that was installed at the University of British Columbia, and big part of the newsletter are contributions of the UBC professors of the Department of Education about Korczak and children's rights. So I think that UBC and the Department of Education now is infected and Korczak is there. Also, there are much more sections, and I can assure you that you will find quite a few inspiring materials, not only from Canada, but from Poland, from the United States as well, and not so many materials, I must admit, written by young people. This is what I have heard from you, and I agree totally that this is the mistake. We have to listen to young people more and more. This is only way to go. And who knows their problems and challenges better than they themselves. So this should be the direction to go. That should be our ambitions and the bar to be set for ourselves. And that can be done only with the help of our members. Thank you very much.
All right. Could we make one small word and written by just by young people?
By young people, sure. This is the point of my short speech. And then Dr. Galina Sanaeva will tell us about the hard work, the hardship that we have experienced working on this newsletter, and then Yakov Medvedev will also say something about the work for the newsletter. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I would like to briefly describe the process of putting the newsletter together, how we chose and collected materials, assembled them, and edited them later on. First, we selected materials related to Janusz Korczak's legacy and the year of Janusz Korczak. We sent individual requests to participants of Korczak conference at UBC and other authors who wrote about related issues. Correspondence took a few months. After the materials were selected, we made a table of contents. Next, we sent reminders to all authors and started collecting additional materials such as photos. Editing is also a multi-stage process. All articles have to meet certain stylistic and technical requirements, of course. Moreover, each article should be carefully read and edited. Olga, as an experienced editor and editor-in-chief of previous 7 issues of Association newsletters, was my mentor. Thank you, Olga, so much for that. It was a great experience. We had to be aware of every possible typo or mistake of materials we received. Then we realized we missed some photos or require additional information or clarification from our authors. At some points, it seems almost like an endless process. Additional issues came up during translation and proofreading of articles written in other languages than in English, with help of Lillenberg's Nemets, Marta Burczycki, Yakov Medvedev, and others. We could finalize editing. While working on editing, we also were in in touch with our graphic and layout designer, of course. And finally, I should say that it's really very time-consuming and long process on which we were full absorbed with during the summer. And I'm really happy and excited to present this new double issue today. Thank you so much.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Every year, our newsletter expands and develops. What started out as a slightly larger than normal flyer all those years ago has now become a 156-page opus, and hopefully it will only continue to improve, not only in the quantity of pages, but in quality of work as well. However, to accomplish this, we will need more contributors. These can come in the forms of professionals who work with children, such as teachers and doctors, or even ordinary people who deal with young members of society on a daily basis, such as parents or even children themselves. That last point is of particular interest to our organization. How can we consider ourselves advocates for the rights of children when we publish only a handful of child-written pieces? If we would be able to integrate more child-created work in future editions of the newsletter, news of the magazines will spread amongst children, which will consequently spread awareness about their rights. In addition to this, children can offer new perspectives on issues facing their demographic in today's society, things that professionals could possibly overlook. Finally, none of this would have been possible without the generosity of our donors. With every new goal that we set, costs tend to increase. We hope that you will continue to donate. Every single one counts. We hope that together we will take this newsletter and organization to the next level. It has been an incredible journey of almost a decade now, and I look forward to seeing how things will unfold and how things will be in the next 10 years. We greatly appreciate the generous financial help of the Consul General of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Krzysztof Czapla,